Can we hear ourselves think? Can we hear ourselves think? The live is not yet visible. Let's see. I don't hear myself. Why don't I hear myself? Why don't I hear myself? Okay. Let's see if it's visible on this computer. That's weird. Okay, that sounds like it's the email saying that it's live. We're live. There we are. Can we hear ourselves? We're live. Yeah, we can hear ourselves. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we can. Oh, there we are. Let's edit this video. Okay, let's turn down the sound on here because we're going to get all kinds of feedback. That's good. You're gone. Hey, outfish. Out fishing or in the warmth of your office? I like your videos. I spend a lot of time in Hamilton. I sometimes try to figure out where you're actually hanging out there. Type show link to drop link. Type show link to drop link. Okay, let's send that. Okay, so we're going to change the thumbnail on this thing. Where's my thumbnails? Live thumbnails. Where do you think I'd find my live thumbnails? Live thumbnails. Hey, Luth Adventures. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while, and I haven't been to see you in a while. So I'll add you to my list once this party is all over. Then we'll go visiting people. I was looking at people today that I hadn't looked at in almost a year, January of 2025, which is sort of when I lived this. Dundas. Yeah, I know Dundas well. Canadian Tire, I know where the Canadian Tire is. Been fishing in the marsh down there. University, McMaster University. That's the parts that I know. That's the parts I know. Hey, Outfish, let's give you a wrench here. Network as you wish. Add as moderator. There you go. But yeah, so I lived in Hamilton, but my father and I, we'd go fishing in Lake Erie, the Grand River, Binbrook, south, Port Dover, that area more than anywhere else. And Coots Paradise, yeah. And I talked about it in a previous episode with smelts. We'd go out to the Burlington Pier and catch smelts off the pier. And that would, well, I guess it wouldn't be January. It'd be a little bit warmer than that because I never remember being cold. But a bunch of the dads would be out there with their dip nets, and the kids would be out there with buckets picking up the fish. So what am I doing? I'm live editing a cooking and video to blog AI. So we're going to look at an AI program that will convert a YT video to, pardon me, a little bit of hoarseness here. It's winter. Hey, go with the flow. Hey, Terry B. Theodore. Yeah, I've subscribed to you. Oh, yeah, you're the Beyond the Store. Okay. I haven't looked at that in a long time. I probably subscribed early in 2025, and I haven't looked at it in a long time because I look at the heading and say, what is Beyond the Store? And I never really got the time to learn what you're up to. So I apologize for that. I will definitely spend time there because you're live. Seems almost every day. No, not too many smelt now. I remember it would have been maybe March, April. Um, I don't, as I said, I don't remember ever being super cold. Hey, Terry B. Okay, let's give you a wrench as well. I haven't seen your stuff in a while, but I will go and check it out some more. Wrench, yes, give you a wrench. Anyway, so what am I talking about here? I'm trying to keep track of who has joined us. Samuel Westall, yes, I remember you. The Money Man. Let's give you a wrench. I think you're, again, I haven't been there a little bit, so maybe you've changed direction, but it was a Money Man. Last time I looked. Yeah, the spring smelts, and we'd catch a bucket of them, and then we'd have smelts for the rest of the month. My mom would freeze them. And I was at the fish market, the Mike's Fish Market in the St. Lawrence Market today, and they had smelts, because in the spring I was looking for Lake Ontario smelts to do a cooking show about smelts, cooking smelts. And I loved the way my mom did them. Basically rolled them in flour and fried them in butter. And I couldn't get smelts. The only way I could get were Chinese smelts, but they weren't clean. They're little tiny things. They were like maybe this big, that big, and but they weren't clean. So, and they're way too much of a pain to clean. And I ended up finally getting some, and I think I got them from Metro or Loblaws or wherever. And they were pretty good. And now I see big ocean smelts at the market. So they're huge. They look like they're like 10 inches. And they're huge. But how many smelt recipes does the world need? Let me just turn on this other phone because I want to see what this thing looks like on a phone. Hopefully the battery's good in there. Canadian Distillery, yes. AI today. Well, today we're going to do a couple of things, hopefully. I'm a bit late in the week for this. I want to edit a very brief video about sauerkraut. So my mom always made sauerkraut. And I had sauerkraut with everything. My father made sauerkraut in the basement, stunk up the whole house. But that's the kind of people they were. And so this is really a fancy version of sauerkraut that people seem to like. And I certainly like it. So that's going to be the first thing. But what I really want to look at from an AI point of view, I've sort of given up on this stupid AI cat. I'm not sure that an AI cat adds value to what we're trying to do here, although it, in talking to friends, they like the cat, but nobody ever on the internet said, I like your cat. Not even Sydney Cat, who's a cat that I follow, and the woman that runs zebra mussels. So when the boat came out of the water this year, didn't find zebra mussels on the boat, but I found zebra mussels on other people's boats that were hauled up on the shore. I remember one year I had a rope I left in the water over the winter, and in the spring it was tied to the end of the dock. In the spring I came down, and this rope was covered with zebra mussels, and they're pretty big ones. They're like maybe like this. So if you think about it, like this, how much is that? That's like an inch. If you could find a use for them, find a way to eat them, you'd have mussels without having to go with the PEI. Of course, they probably soak up all of the toxic waste that's from the bottom of the lake, so that's probably not that good. So, but I guess if they soak up toxic stuff, then that's okay too. Keeps it out of the water. Where I am now, I haven't seen any zebra mussels on the boat itself. I remember once I saw some zebra mussels on the water intake, and that would be disastrous, because if they get into the water pump, they're supposed to get through the strainer, so they probably wouldn't get in. But if they got into the water pump, the little hard shells would create a little bit of a havoc there. So that's yeah, I'd heard that too. They clean the lake too much. The water is too clean. So I guess you can't have too much of a good thing, or you can have too much of a good thing. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, AI. So I do want to do something that I had tried out before, and I tried it to a small extent in what I'm going to do today, but I want to rerun it again, because every time you ask AI, ChatGPT or Gemini, a question, you get a different answer. And what this does is it will take your video, and I guess your video description, and create what a blog post, an article about that. It will basically turn your recipe into a cooking blog post. Now, if your video was about fishing, it may turn it into something else. So I've only tried it with my own my own videos. I should try it on somebody else's videos and see what they look like. So what this is going to do, and the reason that so it'll create a blog post, and I've got a blog of all of this stuff. But what I really want to do is use that format to create a cookbook. Mountain Sparrow, hey, haven't seen you. Happy New Year. Thanks for coming aboard. Even though we're not aboard, we're sitting at the editing computer in the basement. And trekking, good Deb and Mike, Happy New Year to you as well. I guess Happy New Year to a bunch of people. I didn't say Happy New Year to Outfish and Lith Adventure and Flo. I think Flo, I said out Happy New Year to you on one of your lives. Anyway, so this blog format, which basically describes what it sees in the video, seems to work for a cookbook. So I want to try that for 2 recipes that I've already tried, and then spend a few minutes looking for pictures to complete the thing. So let's see. Hey, Susanna Morjan, Happy New Year to you. Although I also said Happy New Year to you on one of your lives, but you might have been asleep, so you might not have heard the Happy New Year. So Happy New Year. So let's fire up our good friend Adobe Premiere, and see what I did. I think I looked at the footage for this thing. So let's see if we've got that there. Do I see it? Do I see it? Do I do it? I don't know. I don't think I created an Adobe Premiere project for that. So let's do that now. And if I try to create it, it'll complain. And let's find the footage. YouTube food clips. Sauerkraut. Now again, my parents are from Eastern Europe, so sauerkraut was part of their lives. Some people have never had sauerkraut. Other people have seen sauerkraut as a thing that you would put on hot dogs at a food truck, and it is a unique taste. Okay, so here is let me flip the phone around, aim it at the computer, and see if we can. There we are. So this is our footage for making sauerkraut, which is very simple. You fry some bacon, some onions, some bay leaves, throw it in the sauerkraut from the jar, and then add some spices, and that makes it a much more exciting meal or side dish than boring sauerkraut right out of the thing. So here's our footage. Let's create a do I have stills? I do have stills for this. Okay. I always forget how to spell sauerkraut as well. Let's create a new project then and start from scratch and make a new project. There you are. Pardon me. And let's create a new sequence. And it's going to be an HD sequence. The footage was recorded in 4K to let me zoom in and out virtually. We give the sequence the same name so that the video it exports is going to have the same name, so I can find all this stuff again. And I've got to excuse myself for a second. I'm wearing this wireless mic, so I can't really stop the mic. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, I no sneeze. Okay, we missed the sneeze. Dodged the bullet on that one. Let's see what we're doing here. What are we trying to do? Okay, so let's bring all of this footage from this cooking episode, including the captain on green screen, bring it into the project. Who said hi? Willie's Desert Hangout. Hey, how are you? I haven't seen you in a whole 2 days. I said Happy New Year to you a couple of times. Just listening, trying to understand what's happening in your life in the background. I didn't totally get it, but yeah, it's hang in there, I guess is the right expression. Okay, so we've got this footage here. Let's sort it by name and make sure that we can actually see it sorted by name. Where is the 100? Yeah, it's sorted in the right order. I hate it when Premiere decides to shuffle the order of my clips. Okay, and I missed a couple there. Shuffle the order of my clips. And I'm looking for something, and suddenly the end of the cooking session is at the beginning, and everything's a mess. So it says, do I want to change my settings? No, because I want my edit is HD, so 1080, 1920 by 1080, and my footage is 4K, actually Ultra HD, so it's 3840 by 2160, basically double the dimensions of HD. Keep it original. Okay, what do we got here? Let's see how much we've got here. So we've got a total of 14 minutes, but I don't think there's going to be 14 minutes worth of excitement here because, as I say, it's fry some bacon. There's the final sauerkraut. So I'm making it look pretty with a couple of slices of red onion and a bay leaf. That is sauerkraut, and this was made for a Christmas dinner, and it went over well. And there's the captain talking about how great it's going to be. So let's find out. We might as well, while we're looking at this, we need an introductory clip. Is that a good clip? Or do we want the making of it? Okay, so there's the raw sauerkraut out of the jug. There's a little bit not that bright. I've got to improve the quality of the light here. Although somebody, I saw some of this as stock footage, and somebody bought a shot of me frying ground beef, hamburger meat, on a website called The Takeout, and they were talking about different qualities of different ground beefs. So it was a cooking, not so much even a cooking website, but a website of household stuff. Just one comment on Willie's Desert Hangout there. I think he's up to like 970 subscribers. Let's get him over the top so he can make some money off his website. He certainly gets enough hours because people watch for hours. Well, it's the Arizona desert. It's an interesting guy, and interesting landscapes. The backyard, the backyard is the backyard, but the landscapes of Arizona. Now, if you're in Canada, we're covered in snow, and he's hanging out in the backyard. But it's a nice place to spend a bit of time listening to the Willies Desert Show. Pardon me. That sneeze isn't going to come. So go over and visit Willie's. Okay, what do we want here? I don't know if I like that. Is that a good shot? Or should I have this? I think I like this better. So let's put this at the beginning. We'll make a copy of it, get rid of the audio, find 5 good seconds. 5 seconds. So there, we're down to 21 seconds. Guess I spent a lot of time fiddling with those stupid onions. Okay, let's get the bay leaf. Okay, fingers, get out of there. Okay, so that's good. So there we are. 2 seconds. Let's go there's 4 seconds there. Okay, I don't want my fingers in there. Yeah, is there a better 4 seconds with the two? Okay, we get the fork in action moving. It's a bit of motion, it's a movie. Things should move. There we are. Okay, let's brighten it up a bit. And let's see if we can see, these are bay leaves here, and they're the right color for bay leaves, but they're a little bit boring. So let's see if we can make them a little bit greener. Well, maybe just increase the saturation of the whole clip. There, about there. The color white looks good, so that's not what the issue is. But let's see, this thing has this thing it calls HSL, hue, saturation, lightness, secondary edit, and it lets us fiddle with colors. So let's see, we really want to figure out how to make it select the bay leaf. So it's selecting more. This is not as sophisticated as Photoshop, where you can go and say, find me this, find me that. But let's assume that that's good, and let's just make that a little bit greener. There we are. That made it a bit greener. So all we did is we zoomed down here and to the color picker and improved the greenness of this whole thing. And maybe a sip of water is what I need. So that looks better. So let's bring this to the beginning. This will be part of our intro. Now what I've done, I've always, not always, but in a long time I was putting the food at the beginning. And then in the last 2 videos, I put the captain at the beginning. And let's see what the captain had to say about this. So here's the captain. Actually recorded this a couple of days afterwards. And what's the captain got to say for himself?
Especially holiday ham. It's a bit of a bore straight out of the jar, but it would spice it up a bit with a Hungarian flavor.
Okay, so not very loud.
Sauerkraut goes with everything made of wheat.
Okay, I obviously recorded it twice because I wasn't happy the first time, or I just wanted to give myself some options. Okay.
Sauerkraut goes with everything made of wheat, especially ham. but it's a bit boring, straight out of the jar. So I'm going to spice it up with a bit of a Hungarian flavor. Let's go.
So the Hungarian is the paprika.
That really does look and taste better than straight out of the jar. Yummy.
Okay, yummy. Okay, so let's first of all fix this guy in terms of fixing the color. So on the phone, it looks to me like it is very bright because I guess the phone is compensating, but in reality, it's not bright at all. Now, I don't take the time to look at a YC chroma waveform to second guess this because I have an idea of how bright white is. This is not blown out, but so I don't really need the YC waveform to make sure that I don't have blown out whites and extra blacks. Now again, this isn't being Hey, Pixie Pen, thank you for coming aboard. I have not subscribed to you. I will. Let's give you a wrench. Let you do some networking. Please be kind. And I will come back and check you out afterwards. Okay, so here we've got Captain blabbing about this. And the reason you use a green screen is because this was shot in December when it was pretty cold. I was actually down at the boat a couple of days ago after we had a decent cold snap, and just wanted to make sure that things were okay, and they were. And one of the things that I wanted to check was that the antifreeze was adequate because I put some in the fridge and it worked. But yeah, the antifreeze in the bilge was totally watery, while a bottle of water I'd left was frozen rock solid from ice. So the antifreeze was good, and I recharged the batteries. But even the batteries weren't a problem this year. Last year, the battery voltage had dropped down to 7 volts in the middle of the winter. And here it's been since October that it's been charged. I think I did charge it once in between there. But it has been the voltage was 12.4 volts on both batteries, really. So I let the charger run for an hour and did a little bit of cleanup. And that should get it through the rest of the winter. Okay, so what is it? Yeah, so I recorded myself talking about this in my kitchen studio, but because it's about sailing Cook George, we're going to add a sailing environment through the magic of green screen. So let's apply a key to this. And the key is going to be, let's make it in the right order. The key is going to be, okay, we got a shadow there. We don't want the shadow. That's the wrong color. That's getting better, right? So let's look at this as an alpha channel. Ooh, it's not a very good, what's closer to representative? Okay, what if I were to change the, go back into the color and let's go back and look at this thing in that alpha channel mode, in composite mode. Okay, so what did I do here? I'll make that a bit brighter. Okay, let's see if, obviously my lighting is really bad because parts of it are really green. Hello? Okay, let's get rid of this because this is, my color is getting screwed up. Okay, let's put this back to 0. This is has never been worth the effort to screw with the colors. Okay, let's bring back this green screen here. Bring that in. Try again. Oh, that's what I picked the wrong, I put relaxed instead of aggressive. Aggressive should get the colors to work better. And alpha channel, that's pretty black. I like what we've got. Let's go back to that. Okay, so this is the captain. The captain, my captain. Sitting out in the nothingness, and we're going to bring a save this. No, I'm not saving that. Go away. Save that, and let's import, because I don't want to do this. I've done this once. I don't need to do it over and over and over. Everybody uses this the same background. Me on the back of the boat. So let's bring in. We'll bring in a bunch of stuff that we're going to use without reinventing the wheel each time. That. So we're going to copy these little bits of video, and we're going to paste them into the project we're working on. Close project. And one of the things that we've got in here is this. And now suddenly the captain is out in the back of the boat. Now this clip okay, that's good. Cut that there. I like that, what we've got there. So let's bring this to the beginning of the video. And my question to myself is, do I want to start the video with stick it in the beginning, with me talking, or with food and just music? And I'm going to that a little bit of green in that. Nah, that's not bad. We'll start with the captain talking, and then halfway through, we're going to bring this in. Now, how many seconds is this? This is 5 seconds. So that's where my title goes. I want that to be a little bit longer.
It's a bit of a Hungarian thing. Let's go.
Okay, so there we are. And I don't like making things bigger than 100%, but I'm going to just move that over a little bit. Zoom in. There we go. That's nice. Let's cook. Okay, so here we got the captain talking about how great it's going to be. Get rid of that. And that's not bad. The Let's see. Okay, now this one, I like jumping around sometimes. So I've got something interesting right away, but I think here I have no choice but to go through preparing the ingredients first. So we got to cut up some garlic, going to cut up some onion, cut up some bacon. See, I got to figure out why this camera isn't focusing properly. So something moved there, and it's a bit out of focus. So my hand's in focus, but the garlic, this onion isn't. So let's start with the bacon first, and we'll fry the bacon and let it or do I want to start with a picture of a can of sauerkraut, a jar of sauerkraut? How about that? So I can, then my voiceover dialogue is going to be, so this is regular sauerkraut. We're going to make it look a lot better because we're going to add some spices and we're going to add some onions and stuff like that. Okay, so let's put this next. And then, so we're going to start with this. And then we're going to, how many seconds is this? This is 19 seconds, so it's way too long. We'll cut it short. And we'll introduce our audience to sauerkraut in a jar. How many seconds is that? So how many seconds do I need to talk about sauerkraut? That's 7 seconds? Okay. Let's leave 7 seconds. And we're going to bring that together. And we're going to, so we're going to have the zoom from the, okay, so let's see, because I want to have let's cook over here. So we give ourselves a few more seconds of the captain. And we need a few seconds of him. We're going to do a cross zoom in there because I think that's so cute. It's the only wipe that I use. I've watched people do presentations with a thing called ShowPro Gold. And I think there's 100 transitions in there, little checkerboards and wipes and irises. And I've watched presentations where the artist or the creator, the author, has used every transition in there. And so if you're looking at a 5-minute video, hey Gator, Happy New Year. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope the boat's afloat. Have I been to your site? I haven't seen you, even been to visit you before since New Year. So let's I'll make a promise. I'm going to come over and see you after we're done here and catch up on what you're up to. What was I saying? Yeah, so people that use every transition in the book, I think the transitions are detracting from the working is a necessary evil. So the only transition I'm using is this zoom because I think it's kind of cute. And now let's see. Okay, so what I said I'm going to do, I'm going to introduce sauerkraut in a jar. And then I'm going to flip over to, let's make this smaller so we can get it on the screen, the bacon. So we're going to cut up some bacon because bacon is more interesting than cutting up sauerkraut. And I'm always upset at myself about how slow it is. Oh, I bought a new knife because one of the problems is my knives haven't been sharp enough. So this is a new knife, and I think it'll be on my Amazon list as soon as I find the Amazon link for it. And let's leave it as it is, because I think this is going to be a short video. So how many minutes, seconds? It's taking us 34 seconds to cut up some bacon. We're going to make it faster because I'm going to get bored watching this, right? That's nice. Okay, let's speed it up. 140%. So now it's still slow, but at least we're getting there. Let's center this a little bit. Get it over there. That's good. Zoom out just a hair so we see more of the bacon. And this was kind of, hey, Akaru Alasko, thank you for coming aboard. Happy New Year. I think I've been to see your live this year from you. And but Happy New Year again anyway. So this is bacon from the farmer side of the St. Lawrence market for those that are in the Toronto area. And so it's potentially, not necessarily, actually farm-made bacon, farm-smoked bacon. It could also be that they bought a big jug of it and just broke it up in small packages to make it look like they made it. Hey, Caesar Mocha, thank you for coming by. Haven't seen you in haven't seen you live in a while. I did drop by your channel a couple days ago. And then we're going to put the bacon in the frying pan. That's taking a whole 9 seconds. Leave the spatula in there so we've got some action. Are we getting sizzle yet? I can't remember whether there was sizzle or not. I guess we won't get sizzle for a few seconds. Okay, so that's that. And now here, we got the sauerkraut, and we're going to have the bacon frying. A little bit more, frying. Okay, so there we're putting garlic in. So I guess I didn't use the garlic press. I chopped up the garlic with a knife into small pieces. I can't remember why I wanted that. Maybe because I wanted little chunks of garlic to... So what we're going to do is we're going to make some garlic. Yeah, I'm cutting up the garlic. Let's move this onion. Okay, that's cooking there. I don't know, nothing's happening here. I'm not sure why I recorded just a piece of a frying pan full of bacon, so let's get rid of this clip. Don't need it. Revealing project. Clip number 107. You are gone. 107. Where's 107? Let's get rid of 107. Where's 107? And again, my trick is I put a Z in front of it so that it doesn't actually disappear, but it gets out of our way. And so let's break up the garlic. And what are we doing here? So what do I have here? I'm probably going to have to talk about why I'm mincing the garlic with a knife instead of my little fancy garlic press. Yes, again, it's out of focus. I got to understand why this is out of focus. Okay, maybe the lens needs cleaning. Okay, here, let's zoom out. There's, okay, this has been underexposed, but we'll fix that later. Okay, a little bit of action, picking out the garlic cloves. I like that. Let's go there. And then here, what are we doing? We're cutting it up. Even more cutting. Okay, we don't need, this is enough cutting. So this one is just cutting the garlic. That's enough cutting. We don't really need that. Let's get rid of him. And again, if it gets too short, then we can bring some of this stuff back. Reveal in project, it is clip number 100. Oh yeah, that's right, because it was there. That's the sequence I did the actual prep. 100. You're gone. Yes, you're gone. Let's get rid of 100. We don't need a whole minute of chopping up. We don't need a whole minute of chopping up garlic. So now, how long is it taking us to do this garlic? 29 seconds. Let's go to 160%. Does it look realistic? A little bit on the speeded up side. Okay, there. Okay, now I remember why I wanted that. Because here we're cutting it in slices, and that clip we just deleted is mincing it. So let's bring it back. So clip number 100. And let's hit undo. What? $98, $99, $100 sauerkraut. I suppose sauerkraut. Pardon me. Okay, so we're gonna have to link this media. I don't know. I guess it lost its linkage. Locate. Where's locate? Where is locate? Clip number 100. Okay, there we are. So we did want a few seconds of this mincing. Unfortunately, a lot of it is cut off. So let's speed it up. 140%. And so here, okay, we don't need that much. 17 seconds is still way too long. Let's get rid of some of the beginning of it. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay, we're putting that in there. Now we're opening the garlic, looking for 2 cloves. And that's too long, so let's stop there. And we're gonna chop up that. Okay, we don't need that much. Let's go there. So now we're chopping it. Chop, 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 chop. Yeah, it's too bad that that is, let's just move it up a little bit, then it'll take up more of the screen. Gotta figure out why it's not in focus, because the last one we did, the sweet and sour shrimp, was also not completely in focus, and I'm not 100% sure what its challenge was. Okay, so we made some garlic. And what we're going to do is, in real life, I did all my prep in sequence. Cut my garlic, cut my bacon, cut my onion. In the storytelling, I want to the other thing, I cheated a little bit and added more bacon because what I cut up I didn't think was enough. Okay, so there, okay, we don't need this piece of bacon because there's way too much turning of bacon. It's not that interesting. More interesting cutting of onions. 108. You're gone. Number 108. Pardon me. And so here what we're doing is we're gonna, okay, we got some nice sizzle there. Okay, so how many seconds is this of putting in the bacon? 17 seconds. Let's bring both of these pieces here. And then we're putting in the onions. So let's take both of these pieces and move them over here and see if it looks any good. Okay, so we've cut up the bacon, the garlic. We're going to go back and look at our we don't need that much. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to break up my garlic cutting with a bit of bacon. We're going to check our bacon. Then we're going to mince our garlic. And now I can give it a whole 5 seconds, 6 seconds. That's good. And then we're going to put it in the pan. There we are. That's good. Okay, so let's zoom out so we can see the whole pan. Center it. That's nice. And starting to smell nicer too. Hey, Laurie's Garden. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for coming by. I think I might have said Happy New Year to you already on one of your video, or did you have I can't remember what I saw going by. But I saw something Laurie's Garden. So let's give you a wrench. Network as you see fit. But welcome to my food channel editing. And Happy New Year to you. Okay, so now we finished that. So now stop that where the end of the action is. Let's save this just in case something goes wrong here. And let's see, now we're going to cut up some onions. So again, how many, we got like a minute of cutting up an onion, right? This is 53 seconds. So we're going to cut up an onion. We're going to start off with, that's good. That's 5 seconds. And then we're going to cut it in slices. Okay, half of it is good enough. Why not? Let's speed it up. 140%. How long is it? 25 seconds of onion. That's too much. So when I do the voiceover, I'll see if I can make it shorter there. Center this. I guess, I don't know, I guess the camera got jiggled as well. So I got to check out what the issue is with this being out of focus. Okay, so what do we got here? This jar of sauerkraut keeps getting in the way. So let's get it out of the way. Move it somewhere. Over there. And now we've got okay, so we've got 2 chunks of I like this one. that. So let's keep this one. And this other one is just more of the same thing, stirring the bacon. Let's get rid of it. Number 112. 112, 112. Your toast. 112. Where is 112? There you are. I guess I recorded lots of bacon stirring because, as I say, there's only like 4 ingredients and not a lot of work to work on them. So that I figured if I had, the more I had, the better off I was going to be. Okay, we don't want that spatula just lying there. It's kind of boring. Let's bring this in here. Okay, so here we're cutting up the onion. We're checking the bacon. Now, when my mother did this, she would actually use ham. And but I couldn't find a small enough piece of ham at the market. I didn't want to spend $5 for a big chunk of ham or $10 for a big chunk of ham, so I settled for bacon. And the bacon was a good deal. It was like 3 in the afternoon. They were closing the market, and the butcher shop or deli shop that was selling this said, "Here, $5." So at the grocery store, bacon is $10 a pound, so this was $5. So that was a good deal. Okay, so here we are. Now, what are we doing? We're mixing this up. We're mixing this up. That's nice. And then we're going to put the onion in, and that's it. So that, and this got action all the way to the end. Okay. Let's get rid of the last few seconds of this. And then what are we doing? We're stirring it. We're stirring it some more. We're stirring it some more. A lot of onion stirring here. Okay, so we don't need all this stirring. So what are we doing here? So it's getting cooked. And we're putting in some paprika. And letting the paprika burn a little bit. Because that releases some of this flavor. Now this is smoked paprika. To be honest, I don't know what the difference is. But okay, so I'm going to keep these 2 clips. I'm going to get rid of these 2. What is this number? Reveal and project. It's number 114 and 115. Delete, yes. 114, 115. Four, 115. Okay, so here we mix it up, and now we're going to stir it for a while. Let's just take out the first few seconds of this so that the sound gets picked up by the camera. So I don't know. I've got to figure out what I'm going to talk about while all this is happening here. This is kind of boring. Okay, so then we'll talk about the paprika here. Maybe we'll get some Hungarian or German music here to... Okay, paprika. Okay, that's nice. We're up to 4 minutes of video here. And it's almost done. Okay, what are we doing here? Okay, so here we are. We're opening. Okay, so here we're screwing with this this jar of sauerkraut. That's good. And we're going to dump it in to the frying pan. And part of what I got to talk about is I checked when I took it out that there was very little water in this brand. Some brands have a lot of water in there, and you want some of the flavor from the water, but some of the water is just water, so it doesn't add any taste. It's just sour. Okay, that's the end of that. And then we're going to let's zoom out here so we can see. Okay, do we have too much stuff here? So what's happening here? So we're looking at this thing, and now we're screwing around with it, and then blah, 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 blah. And nothing's happening on screen. Let's go to here. We don't need that little bit of non-action. Okay, mix, 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 and bring it in. Take out a few frames there. And let's bring the jar in. There we are. Oh, I think we're going to get that sneeze. Pardon me. Yeah, there was that sneeze. Okay. Now, so we spent an hour on this cooking, and I haven't got around to the AI yet. And I want to at least do one video to AI blog. So I want to see what that's all about. So here we're putting this in. I guess in the end, the cooking is more important than the blog, because what we're trying to do is do a blog about cooking. Okay, so there we are. Now we're going to put some bay leaves in. I picked out some nice big bay leaves. Okay, we'll talk about that. And it's picking up the color of the paprika. What's this little piece? Okay, we're going to let it be covered for a while. How many seconds is it covered? It is, what? 6 seconds? We don't need 6 seconds of putting a cover on. There we are. This is 71% of zoom. Let's go 71% of zoom here. We can go a little bit lower. There we are. How many seconds of this? 3 seconds. Okay, so that's good. 4 seconds actually. 3 seconds, 29 frames. So it's 4 seconds. Let's get rid of this piece. Now we don't need the lid being taken off, especially because the light was shining on the corner. Get this flash of light. Let's see, what do we got now? So now we're going to go here. Stir, 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 stir. That's good, I like that. Go up to 6 seconds, so that's not bad. I thought it was going to be a lot faster than that. And we haven't really tried to make it unnecessarily long. Close, okay. Stirring, 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 tasting. Okay, I like that one. We'll get rid of this one because it's the same stirring. It's stirring here, stirring here. Nothing's really changed. I think I zoomed the camera in, but it wasn't worth the effort. Reveal in project number 121. File 121. There you are. Same stuff over and over and over. Okay. Tasting. That's good. Yeah. I really wanted to see if it needed salt. Stirring some more. And part of what we want to do is we want the bay leaves to be Joji! Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Haven't seen you in a whole 2 days. The part of the challenge is getting the bay leaves covered so that the flavor goes in here. So now we're taking the bay leaves out. And that's a little bit cheating as well, because the bay leaves should really be left in overnight, for instance, and this wasn't served until the next day, so there was lots of time to let it pick up the flavor better. But then, nevertheless, we picked out the bay leaves, and we're going to serve it. Zoom out a little bit here. There we are. Serve, serve, serve. Good enough. Nothing else exciting there. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so now we're going to garnish it with some onion rings. Seven seconds for garnishing. That's not bad. That will work. Let's just get rid of the first. The camera doesn't record sound for the first 8 frames, a quarter of a second. So you got to get rid of that part, because otherwise it sounds weird when you're listening to it, even if there's music or dialogue in the background. And so what did I do here? I ended up putting in. Okay, so this, we don't like this. We don't like that. Okay, so these we're going to get rid of. Project number 127 and 128. Because they're repetitive. And I think I was just fiddling around with what kind of garnishing I wanted to show. 127, 128. How I wanted to garnish this stuff. And this one, okay, that one. We don't want that one either. Used one time, 126. Okay, 126, you're gone. 126, you are gone. Yeah, Happy New Year, Joji. Happy New Year. Keep dancing. I hope you have a good joyful New Year. Love your show. Joji Guapa Girl. Wonderful dancing. Interesting dialogue. Interesting person. Okay, so here we've served it out. Now we're going to decorate it. We're going to garnish it. Put in a bay leaf for decoration. Okay, let's see. So here's our friend the captain. Okay, I like that. Fiddling with the hat. Okay, we're going to use the same. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's bring this clip from here, the background. Paste that there, bring that in here. Okay.
Yummy.
I don't know if yummy is the right expression to use there, but I figured it will do. Effects, let's do a cross dissolve here. Cross dissolve on there. And then we're going to bring this in. And that's the ingredients. That's the wrong color ingredients. I thought I changed that color to orange. Okay, I have to get that. Obviously, this isn't this recipe. It's a different recipe. Do I have the ingredients? I don't know if I typed up the ingredients yet. Let's see, what do we got here? Ingredients. There we have ingredients. Ingredients: half-pound bacon, 1 onion, 2 cloves of garlic, 1/4 ounce jar of sauerkraut, 2 tablespoons of paprika, 6 to 8 bay leaves. Okay. Pardon me. Let's do this while we're here. There's my ingredients. I don't know how long. Basically, the length of this clip is as long as it takes me to say to read out the ingredients. So that's there. Let's bring that to an end. Let's bring a cross zoom in here. Again, as I say, I'm not a huge fan of cross zooms, but let's put them in there. Of zooms of any of. Bring that in here, and that's right. Okay, so we ended up with 8 minutes. That's longer than I thought it was going to be. It's almost as long as it took in real life. That's not true, because the cooking of the bacon is 3 or 4 minutes. With all the onions, and then the sauerkraut needs another 5 or 6 minutes. So it's 8 minutes is probably half the actual length of time. So what we've done, this is it here. I'm going to just take a break for a second. I've got to check something, and then we're going to come back and do AI. AI is next. Yeah, I gotta take a break. I gotta check something. Let me just check something. Okay, so that is okay. Let's see what we've accomplished here. So I'm going to close this and save this. And I'll leave that aside for a moment. And what I want to do is I want to find, I'm going to do it for demonstration purposes. No, I'm going to do it for real life. Okay, so let's look at a blog. The format that I'm creating by hand. So let's see if we can find one here. Okay, I lied. Fastest way to find it is to use this link here, right? So WordPress blog. So this is my crappy little WordPress blog. Why WordPress? Because I started this on Blogger, Google's Blogger, and the problem was that Google wasn't indexing its own stuff. I asked myself, why not? And then I got an email saying the problem has been corrected. And but I haven't really gone back to Blogger or Blogspot because I wanted to do the WordPress thing. And partly to some extent, if this blog were to take off, if I were to spend time with it, WordPress has more capabilities. Now, the biggest capability that Blogger has is it ties into the Google Advertising Network, and I do want to be part of that. So I haven't abandoned Blogger completely, but I switched all over to WordPress, so WordPress.com. And I've got the free version. If I wanted to pay for it, then I would probably go to GoDaddy and run a WordPress server, which is a bit more work. I guess the biggest problem with running WordPress at GoDaddy is that this comes with an SSL certificate, so you don't get the errors of an insecure website. And an SSL certificate, well, the free ones under Let's Encrypt are free, but it's aggravation because they only last 3 months, and you have to renew them every 3 months. If you go to GoDaddy and buy their SSL certificate, it's $200, and it only lasts a year, so you got to deal with it every year. So it's a pain. Not sure what I'm going to do here, to be honest, going forward. Anyway, so let's go look at this Liver and Onions blog. So this is what my blogs look like. A title, a hero picture, and for some reason this WordPress theme is duplicating the picture. If I say it's going to be my hero picture, it then decides it's going to put it there twice, and I haven't figured out how to override that yet. And then, so here we start off with an introductory bunch of words, and now pictures from the actual cooking when I did this. So here me cutting up liver, and some more words, pictures from the cooking episode, link to the video itself, and the ingredients. So this is sort of my blogs. Now, we look at other people's cooking blogs. They spend a lot of time tracing the history of the meal. So if I look at other people's liver and onion blogs, I would see a quarter page just talking about the value of liver because it has a lot of iron in it, and the downside of liver because it has a lot of iron in it, and the history of liver because it was for poor people and now everybody likes liver. And it goes on and on and on and on. And then they talk a lot about every other cooking blog talks a lot about some of the ingredients. So we go in the mushrooms, and they'd have like a half a page talking about the kinds of mushrooms. And I don't know if that's really necessary. Part of the reason this blog exists is I want to use it as a prototype for a cookbook. So this is also a cookbook page, right? You can have a link to a video in a cookbook, but you can have pictures and you can have words. And so this is a handcrafted blog my way. Hey, Wise Warriors, thank you for coming by. When I think I did come over and say Happy New Year to you already this year. So what I want to do, I came across it on TikTok because I had started using ChatGPT for some introductory dialogue words for some of these videos, and ChatGPT have created nice many adjectives, many adverbs, kinds of a paragraph that I found pleasant to read. Now, after you've read a bunch of AI stuff, you say, "Oh, this is obviously AI," but I do think it works. I've asked other people who are writers by profession or by avocation, and they have, when they've given me a sentence to introduce liver and onions, it is also 5 lines long because they've got 4 adverbs for the adjectives for the liver, and 3 adverbs for the cooking, and so I think the longer sentences are better. My personal approach to sentences, the shorter the better. And okay, so what I want to do with this, I'm going to create a new folder in here called blog. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I want to keep a few things separate. So I've got a bunch of pictures already. So this is my photos of that I took from the cooking process. So we've got the jar of sauerkraut, which is definitely going to be in the thing. I've got some bacon in a pan, which is definitely going to be in the thing. I've got putting the paprika, which I think is important, mixing the sauerkraut, and the final product. So these are the pictures that I would use in my hand-created blog. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up somewhere else here. I'm going to, as I say, I saw this on TikTok when somebody was discussing Gemini and the new things that Google put into Gemini. And I don't know if it's a specific thing or whether it was just something somebody discovered. But that TikTok was about asking AI, ChatGPT or Gemini, to create a blog post from a cooking video. And I think actually the person that the TikTok was about how to repair something. And I was fascinated by the thought that you could do that. So what we're going to do is going to zoom over here, and I'm going to do it with ChatGPT first. Hey, Joji again. ChatGPT.com. And I use the free, not logged in version because I don't want it to remember what I asked it last. I don't want it to remember what I asked it at all, and I don't really want it to know what kind of questions I'm asking. I mean, they're innocent questions like how to cook liver and onions. But I would like each session to be unique. So I'm going to ask it, write a cooking blog post based on the following. Works better when you can spell following video. I'm going to change this from what I did the last time I tried this. Cooking blog post with tips on ingredients and preparation and plating. I've never asked it for plating based on the following video. So the one I want to do is the video that was last uploaded, which is sweet and sour shrimp. So let's look at sweet and sour shrimp. This is the URL. Let's go back out of here. And I'm going to actually save this. Let's turn the camera just slightly here so that you can see this. I'm going to save this prompt because I'm not logged in. It will lose it for me if I'm not watching. And I'm going to, new text document. AI prompt. So the first one is going to be that's my prompt. I'm going to save that so that I can get it back again. And partly I want to use the same prompt with Gemini to see how it differs, if it differs at all. And let's hit submit. And it's going to think for a while, searching for the video. Here's a cooking blog style post inspired by, so whatever cooking blog style is, that's interesting. I've never seen that before, inspired by the video. That's the video directly, pulling exact transit or other ones. Why can't it access the video? Why can't it access the video? That's interesting. I thought it could access anything on the internet. Okay, so here, yeah, see, this is not my ingredients. So why couldn't it access the, that's interesting. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside because it's not what I expected. And I'm going to go to gemini.google.com. Gemini.google.com. And because I'm got logged into Google, it does know who I am. Do I want to write code in Canvas? Not yet, although I do want to understand what vibe coding is. So it does know who I am. I don't know what important account alert there is, but that's don't really care. So let's ask Gemini the same thing. Curious why ChatGPT can't access the video. Okay. Okay, so this is Goiza. Why is it talking about Goiza? Ground pork. Have we somehow, maybe my typo was wrong. Let's get a, sweet and sour shrimp. There it is. So that's not wrong. Okay, so this is obviously not even not even the right Gemini.google. So this might not be where we thought. Didn't we have a problem last time? I wanted to do something similar. Gemini.google. And I kept getting the weirdest stuff. So let's go to, let's go back to this video and get the shared. Where's share? Let's try the share. Using the link from the share instead of the link from the browser. Control V. Based on the following video. Let's try this one, see if this gives us better. I don't know why I got it. Goiza. I've never cooked goiza. Perfect steak. Okay. Why is there steak? Okay, so we are obviously having some technical difficulties that when I tried this for the liver and onions one, it worked perfectly. Now, the other thing I discovered when I played with this is if I made it too complicated, then let's ask it for a simpler cooking blog post. Let's just get a blog post. Based on the following video. Let's see if we're better off. No, still thinks they're doing steak. Okay, so we're obviously not succeeding at what we wanted to succeed at. AI has ChatGPT. Let's try ChatGPT. Write a blog post based on the following video. And now ChatGPT thinks that that's steak. So something strange is happening in the background. I'm going to give up because it's already 9:15, and I'm not achieving what I wanted to achieve. Hey, Just Frank, thank you for coming by. I'm about to give up. But I don't think I've seen your stuff in a while. I'm going to come back to you. Let's just give you a wrench while we're at it here. Because we're going to pull the plug on this because the AI isn't giving me what I wanted. It's not finding the it's not finding the video, or else there's something changed and Google is rejecting yeah, see, this isn't my recipe. I have no bok choy in my recipe. So I got to figure out what the problem is. I do. When I first came across it, I thought this was the greatest thing since sliced bread, and obviously it's safe. Let's flip the camera around and talk to the camera for a few minutes. It was going to make life easy, because a lot of eliminate the thinking required. And if it's not going to be able to find the if it's not going to be able to find the video that's the basis of this, then it's a pain, right? I'm going to have to write it by hand. And I thought I could outsource that to my good friends at ChatGPT or whoever it is. Because I'm lazy. But then again, it's free, so what do you expect for free? You can't expect anything for free, right? Take advantage of it while the getting is good. But take advantage of while the getting is good. So it's pain in the butt. What else can I say? I got to say thank you for hanging around and listening. Thank you for taking the time to on a Friday night to watch the editing. Anyway, I always learn something about what I'm doing by just the process of talking about it while other people are listening, and it makes it a better product. So I'm going to try to get to see everybody that I didn't have the time to come by. Arizona Jake, hey, you're coming in at the very last minute. I've given up on AI. I wanted to use AI to write my story about in a blog format about a recipe. And when I tried it a while ago, it made sense, but now I'm asking it to help me figure out sweet and sour shrimp, and it's telling me how to make steaks. And I don't have a recipe anywhere on how to make steak, so it's obviously hallucinating. Or if it's not hallucinating, then I'm hallucinating. Yeah, well, that was the thing. I wanted to. I'd actually tried this this thing earlier, and I'd gotten something. I didn't spend the time to think about it because I wanted to do it live, and then talk about the fact that the Tuesday answer is different than the Monday answer. And that's not bad. And that's part of the reason why I leave my, I don't log into these things, because I don't want it to remember what I last asked for. And now it's giving me grief and not giving me anything that makes any sense at all. So we're going to have to see what its issue is, as far as why it wasn't giving me a description of a recipe that related to what I actually asked it. So it's a weirdness that I want to understand. Now again, because it's free, if it doesn't give you what you expected, who are you going to complain to? Who are you going to call? I did promise I was going to check out Canadian Facilities channel before New Year's, and I never did, so I'm going to have to just make a note to come back there. And Jake, yeah, I mean, I love watching it. I mean, I look at this guy doing exercises, and my God, he's fit, and he's not 18, he's 19, okay. And I got to sit down. An amazing guy. So, having said all of that, I'm going to pull the plug on this this exercise, and this sauerkraut will be live tomorrow. I may have to make another trip to the market tomorrow, but it should be live tomorrow. And then I'm going to spend time on the unscrewing or understanding why AI isn't as intelligent as it thinks it is. So, having said all of that, I'm going to hang up on this and say thank you for watching. Happy New Year, and we'll do all of this again next week. I'm going to press the little X. Are you sure you want to stop? Okay, I want to stop.